Well, hello, hello, hello. We are recording live from Arlington, Vermont. I am Happy Valley Hobbies, and these are hobbies that make me happy. Looks like Stuart the Fish Whisperer is the first one here, and so is Dan's Model Railroading Journey. Thank you for coming in. All right. Well, and Dave's BNF's N Scale is also here. Thank you for coming in. Well, I have some news. Um, it's sort of kind of good, bad news, depending on how you look at it. The good news is that I'm back to being employed. I am on Tuesday. I go back to work for a company that hello there, Sidetrack 77, and I'll be working. The good news is I'll be working. Bad news is it's not a full-time job. Hello there, rail artists. Thank you coming in. It's one of those. It's one of those things of it's 32 hours, so it's like just under what's considered full time. So, in order to, I thank you, rail artists. In order to counter that, I am in the process of trying to get a second job, which the interesting thing is that would also be 32 hours, just under full time. Basically, my plan is to work one in the morning. Not quite in the morning, but basically, I believe it's like round 8. Yep, got to pay them bills, especially. Hello, there's Zataro. Thank you for coming in. But yeah, it's one of those things of, in order to get enough full time, basically both jobs I'll be being paid more than my last full time job. But it's right now trying to coordinate between the two, trying to get it that way. And the second job right now, I got it. But the thing is, well, I want to say I got it, but at the same time, it's like they're waiting. They want me to wait, to go through the whole process and all that after I start the new job and get that schedule, figured out. So there is a hello there, Kyle. Thank you for coming in. The thing is that there's a possibility that I might have to. There's a possibility that someone could walk in to the second job and get that, and somebody can, walk in and, start to, do the job itself. So I might lose that one. However, I do have a backup plan on that one because I wound up going on to a, hello there, Kyle. Thank you for coming in. With that is that now that I got a possible third job and all that, the first two jobs, they're in Bennington. In fact, they're less than a block away from each other, so it's a lot easier to walk. I can literally walk from one to the other. The other one, unfortunately, is in Manchester, and it's a the job that is where I basically, all right, here's the schedule and all this and that and etc. Is Jalopy. They are opening up a new store. They're putting on the final finishes and all that stuff in Bennington, Vermont. The second place is called the Stove Depot, which is literally one block away. And the third one is Starbucks in Manchester. Now, hello there, John. Thank you for coming in. Let's see. Wow, there's a lot of people tonight. But yeah, I going to start working for Jalopy. My first day of work is on this Tuesday. Basically it's a brand new store, so everyone's going in at once for an orientation and all that, and etc. So that's the good news. The bad news is that because they work, pretty much 7 days a week, I will not be able to. Yeah, it's basically very tired. I'm going to be very tired, especially since unemployment hasn't kicked in yet. So I'm basically. I'm not sure how people. I actually had a little bit of money saved up and all that, but it's one of those things of. Apparently, I had to confirm this, but from what I understand, in Vermont, they're way behind on their unemployment, or helping with people who are, are unemployed. So it's like, well, I still haven't been approved yet. The last time I went on unemployment, it was like less than 2 weeks. I think it was basically a week that I got confirmation. But from what I understand now is that they're almost 6 months behind, and it's being 6 months behind, it's like I don't, not many people have enough in savings. I know I don't, to basically not be able to be having no income in having no income for 6 months. It's like, that's not happening. If that it is one of those things of, had I was being approved a little bit earlier, I might not have gone with fast food. I mean, there's nothing wrong with fast food. I've done it before, but at the same time, they're not. Basically, I would still be paid. If they approve me, all the back pay will go in and all that. But at the same time, waiting 6 months to pretty much waiting 6 months, to get that, that back pay. It's like I'm, going to be, turn around and declare bankruptcy or something like that, because, waiting 6 months, before getting, it's like, from what I understand, the average person, can't turn around and take an extra $1,000 hit. And so, all right, we have a lot of people wandering in. Hey, Sparky. But yeah, and but yes, I'm employed, but at the same time, I do not know where, because I could be working on a Sunday. So I do not know when. I don't think I can have a normal schedule unless I do something like really early in the morning. So yeah, that's. I think right now the schedule is I will be working next Sunday, so I will not be here at this time. If I can find a way to be at two places at the same time, I could be a really rich man. But that's I don't know what the new schedule is, because I don't know what my Jalopy schedule is going to be, and I also don't know what the stoves. I know what the Stove Depot's schedule will be. It's from what I understand, it's going like 8 to 2, or 8:30 to 2. It's basically, that's Monday through Saturday. Saturday I would get off at 1, with a day off somewhere in between. Probably the suggestion is Friday because there is a part-time person on Friday. Yeah. Basically, I'm gonna have to take care of myself. But at the same time, one thing I like about doing these live streams is that it's having people out there, making sure that I'm still alive, somebody to talk to, and all that stuff is good for my mental health. Which, well, since the pandemic is, everyone else has been. Yes, getting paid is more important than streaming, unless you can make money doing streaming. But I get the impression it's getting harder and harder through YouTube, because they, from my understanding, before they started having the video ads, people were actually able to turn around and yeah, I would have to say is I think when they were still having the ads that would go across the bottom, instead of the video ads, I believe people were actually able to not necessarily be rich unless they were a large channel, but they were able to stay on there. But then when I get the impression when they start doing the video ads, they I get the impression that they were starting to charge more for the video ads because, well, that's what it is and all that. But then at the same time, cutting back on what they were paying with the creators. That's when other things like Patreon came along, because it's like, like, hey, we're putting all this, money into making stuff, and you're, cutting the income off. And but yeah, originally, when I started this channel, I was unemployed, so I'm like, oh, I'll go be a YouTuber and all that. And well, then I got employed, and that sort of went back on the back burner, and then happened to realize that, unless I don't know where the where the quote. I guess once you get a plaque, I want to say it's like once you get a YouTube plaque, then you might start be able to actually do it as a full-time thing. But until you get that plaque, which I have no idea what that is, I'm nowhere near it. I'm only at the. Let's see now. Hold on a second. I can't see my analytics right now. Yeah, I got, annoyingly, I have a very large monitor over here, but for some reason it's at a low resolution. I don't know how to make it at a larger resolution, make the resolution smaller. So basically, if I'm looking at YouTube live, on the small screen here, I get, they're three wide. For some reason, it's only 2 wide on here, and other things where it's basically everything's big and huge and all that, but everything's cut off. Well, hello there, Hot Dog Pilot Andy. Thank you for coming in. So Yeah, so the update is I'm back being employed. Uh, Unfortunately, it's a part-time job, not a full-time job. Looks like it's going to be like 36 hours, just under being full-time. Yeah, what's neat? Just being honest, yeah, what's neat? Ken Patterson, I think, does a lot of things that are beyond just doing shows and stuff like that. I mean, he's from Humanity Junction. It's like, as much as effort he puts into his channel, he still had to go find work. But then again, he lives in New York City where everything's more expensive. But yeah, need sponsors. Yep, he gets from running ads, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I think I'm not quite sure. I would not be surprised if he has a Patreon also. But a lot of the like, let's see, I think Luke Town, I believe, also has Patreon and all that. It's like any channel I've seen where they're able to be able to live off of YouTube, they usually have a Patreon. Let's see, I'm trying to think now. One that I know that I actually came across when one that I came across when they yeah, I would have to say those ad spots are not cheap. I haven't really watched that much of What's Neat. I think I watched it a couple of times, and I'm like, yeah. But the thing is, for the longest time, Ken Patterson was a model railroad photographer. I do remember when he was talking about, because everyone was like, "Ooh, can we operate on your layout?" Well, the thing is, it's more like his layout was more for design for taking photographs. It wasn't set up for operations. So it took him a while. It's like when he decided to make it into operations and still have it as, product placement and all that fun stuff. It took him a while to figure out how to do that. Because if I remember correctly, when I originally put it up there, it was every quote scene that he had to do. Just two main lines. I mean, that's what it is, Sparky. It was just two main lines. No, although there were industries, they weren't connected. But yeah, I think I want to say a lot of the successful model train YouTubers that are out there were, I want to say they were successful to begin with. And I've noticed that with a lot of channels that it's like, ooh, they got this many and all that. But then you find out that they were running something professional beforehand. And there's a lot of companies out there that, have been, overnight overnight sensations. And you find out that, they already had a head start. I just recently saw something with what's the name of it now? Arizona Tea, where it's like, oh, I came up with this, this guy came up with this idea because of an accident, and then it's like, how did it become an accident? And then it's like they were originally, but it's set up for taking photos. But Arizona Tea, basically, what had happened is that a truck, he was a distributor, So he basically would, get a hold of insert. Yeah, just do it for fun and giggles. And that's what I sort of decided to do with this, because you know, I think I've been at 100, just a little over 100 subscribers for over a year and a half. With no growth, it's not going to happen. Then again, I'm not also doing the, hit the thumbs up button and hit subscribe and all that fun stuff, which I keep on forgetting to do. Yep, being in a similar industry helps too. Yep. But yeah, it's like there's been times I would look at other channels and how they explode. One that I actually one channel that I actually saw explode was Tasting History with Max Miller. I think when I almost want to say when he was not monetized when I first was introduced to him, which was sort of kind of interesting. And he wound up doing a collaboration with Townsend's, which is a history food channel specifically for the Revolutionary War. And they did a small collaboration and all that. And that's how I think a lot of people got introduced to him by that way. And then all of a sudden, hello there, Mystic. And I think that, and collaborations are a good way to sort of, get more people and all that, cross-pollination and all that. Trying to think, I did a collaboration with Derailed Daryl and his group. Harris, I don't know. I've seen Harrison. The funny thing is that I was first introduced to the community through New Tracks Modeling. That's where I met Dan. I think he's still here. He was here earlier. But it's that was one of those things of somebody who it's actually interesting. Jim Kello does his understanding of modern technology is not there. I mean, I love the guy, but it's like he's DC all the way. It's like, I don't think he understands how a transistor works. But but he had help, building that. He did not do that himself. It was basically him and I can't think of his name now. He first started helping out with the Zoom meetings. He has his own ON30 model trains model shop. Basically, it's Lambert Locomotive Works. And then he was doing it, and then I started helping out because, I was unemployed at the time, and then eventually I wound up getting employed again for a very short time. So I said, it's like, well, all right. And it was at that time also how I got close to what my current setup is now, with a laptop in front of here, TV monitor over here, which was that had like the task manager on it. So the interesting thing is for the first year or so, it was a VGA monitor, but unfortunately the VGA monitor gave out. It was a flat screen, so I wound up getting a VGA CRT that I still had. and that recently the red gun started to go on that. A friend of mine gave me and actually the two screen large screen TVs I have now, they're both well, this one I wound up it's a very large screen that I actually wound up trading for CRT, because they were in the process of trying to rebuild an old video game which had a CRT in it. It's like, I was like, well, here you go. It's like, we'll switch. This one was given to me by a friend of mine, which is a smart TV, which is not very smart because I thought smart TVs, you plug them in and all that, and they figure out exactly what resolution they need to be in. Nope. Oh, that's interesting, Sparky. Yeah, I haven't been able to figure out what that was. I know when I was, very early on getting onto Sidetrack Sunday, well, especially Ray would turn around and say, "Hey, everyone needs to, help Mr. Grad and get him up there and all that." And I think the first year it pretty much wound up going up there, but as soon as I hit 100, I sort of stalled out. Not sure why, but oh well. But yeah, being now being re-employed for a fast food restaurant, I don't know what my schedule is going to be. So this might wind up being the last let's see. But yeah, I know I won't be here. I won't be here next week, but it's one of those things of I do not know what my schedule is going to be. With the layout itself, I'm actually in the process of I need to figure out exactly how to regauge locomotives, because of pretty much the track is done. I got it's not fully wired, but I do have feeders on everything. But I don't. But I haven't wired everything up, and but yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Do with the best as I can. I'd let I belong to the Religious Society of Friends, and I'd let them know. It's like I can't, I can't make it to Sunday service because I might be working, and they're commonly known as the Quakers. Yeah, one day is not available for my job. Yeah, it's sounds like you got a good Sunday, Mystic. But yeah, as the future right now, I don't know how it's going to be. But yeah, I would have to say that's how I'm starting to look at YouTube. It's not a business; it's a hobby, because I'm not good enough to make it a business. I get the impression there's a lot more things that has to be done. One thing I am going to see about doing is learning on how to use StreamYard for editing instead of just doing the live stuff. Basically, there's also, I'm thinking of branching out to different different hobbies that I have, not just the model trains. I like building stuff, so there's a lot of stuff that's, I want to say, model train adjacent. Uh, I like playing with electronics, which, all right, you got DCC and stuff like that, but I could go a different rabbit hole that way. Over outside of the camera range, I bought a lathe so I can do metal work and all that, which with regauging locomotives, that might come in handy. Yeah, don't really do that much in woodworking, but that's another thing that I could, another hobby that's, again, model train adjacent. Yeah, I agree with Mystic. It's like basically the meet and greets and the Christmas specials. I mean, so far the only meet and greets I've gone to is the one at Amherst. But there have been times that it's been be nice to actually go to other meet and greets. So I don't know if there's any other people that do meet and greets in the New England area. I know there was a couple of times that Heath had some meet and greets for basically the Manhattan modelers. But yep, and the layout cab rides. My layout is only 8 foot long, so it's one of those things of Wilmer has one in Timonium Spring, things. All right. But that, I believe, would be... I almost want to say maybe 6 hours away. I've never been to Timonium, so I do not know how long it is from here. Yeah, that's the thing is that sometimes you're just not in a good spot. I used to oh, I just realized something. I try to have I have it set up where I have background music. Is everyone hearing it? I had to readjust my main volume, so I just happened to realize that it's like, where's this odd sound coming from? And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's the background. All right, John, thank you for coming in. I believe you're the one that's on tonight for Sidetrack Sunday. Yeah, one of the things, you're not hearing music. All right, let's see if I can turn that up just. Right now I have 10%. Let's go to 20. All right, I'm at 20%. All right, John, I'll see you there then. All right. All right, I'm at 20%. It's one. A lot of it seems that a lot of places have 15 would be better. All right. That is 15. Andy, how does everyone think about 15? And The interesting thing is that it's called the background music is called ambient. Nice. Feeding the ducks because well, it's that. But I guess you can turn around and add music and etc. All right, Dwight. Thank you for coming in. I'll see you there. But yeah, actually, my plan was to actually start tearing apart a locomotive or two to be set up for set up for regaging. But I did not realize I'm taking almost. Oh, interesting. Does that also include what's on StreamYard? Because technically that winds up taking off a lot of my because I've been using background music. Because my assumption is that the background music that they use, let's see, add music to your streams, recording units that are royalty-free tracks. You won't have any copyright issues on social platforms. Okay. That according to, where it says background music and then it's like a little question mark, it says what I just said. So technically having this on and the same thing with backgrounds music. All right. You have to buy the license for the music. So if you pay for StreamYards, it should be good. All right. Well, if I ever get to that point, maybe what I get for monetization will pay for the StreamYard. So it'll be sort of like pretty much at the same level of where I'm at. Basically grabbing the money from one and then passing it on to the other and not be able to grab anything in the middle. But all right. Well, let's get something done today. Let me switch cameras. That's another thing I don't that I'm not a fan of with StreamYard is that it's not very easy switching cameras. All right. Oh, there is one thing I forgot to grab, and that was a pencil. Oh, well. Any writing utensil. Found one. All right. Now, the idea that I'm going to be doing this one I'm going to be calling the experiment because, well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I got a bunch of this style a locomotive. I grabbed a bunch of them for actually spare parts. So I'm also going to see about converting one of these also to broad gauge. One of the things I'm going to see about doing is using this layout as part of my golden spike setup, along with the I do have the dioramas also, so it's one of those things. Between the dioramas and this, I should have enough scenery for everything. I need about 3 different styles of track. So my assumption is the combination of the dual gauge track here, the gauntlet track here, and technically I guess the switch, but I'm not sure if they would see this gauntlet switch as one thing, and then also off camera the selector plate. But it's one of those things. Well, we'll put it together and see what happens. All right, that's good to know, Sparky. So yeah, move the goalpost so you can't get ahead. All right, let's see. All right, we'll use this to put the parts in. And the reason why I'm using the experiment. All right, let's see now. This locomotive came with I bought a box of stuff and all that, and this was part of that. And my thought process is with this is that if things go awry on this, it's just a locomotive that I wound up not really paying for. All right, I've had this apart once before. I'm trying to remember how it came apart. All right, and it looks like I wound up taking apart the lamp, which is okay. Now the interesting thing is with this, the way this is set up, is that there was 2 sets of gears. Not quite sure if you can see that, but one gear has disintegrated. This locomotive does work. All right. All right, let's see about unsoldering some of this stuff. It's interesting on how they got hopefully I remember this, the way they got this set up, where apparently they got the wirings separate or opposite of each other, so it crosses. And wet this up. So we'll wind up taking out this grain of wheat bulb. And then I have to turn around and find we're going to find new tips for this, because I wound up accidentally leaving this on for several hours, which basically foobarbed the tip. Wait a second, let's... Actually, let's reinstall the motor so it's not flopping around. All right, that's why it's odd. All right. There, that. Now, that comes off there. Interesting, they actually wrap the wires on each other. There's a nice mechanical connection between the two. All right, let's see about freeing all the wire. All right, that's been freed. And that's been freed. All right, everything is unsoldered, so we'll turn this off. All right, now to take the motor back off again. Let's go with this one. Put the motor in there. Screw in there. All right, Dave. See you later. Okay. So get a bit better look at this. The way this is set up is sort of like somehow some of the Lionels are set up, is that there's a gear here and there's supposed to be a gear here, but that gear broke. So this only has basically one axle drive. Now, under normal circumstances, if you notice on how the side rods are set up, is that they have a long, oval groove into it instead of a solid one. And I think this is done so you don't have to be accurate with the quartering. That's what my assumption is. So when I remake this, I will be figuring out a way to make it so we can quarter these. I do have a quarterer, which right now is not within watching distance. But as you can see with these, there's you got these spacers that are here, and that's why I picked this because this winds up being I think 11. I know this is 11 foot wide instead of 10. That's why it doesn't look right because it's basically 175 scale, not 187. And I think this is the same way also. But that's why these look almost like narrow gauge engines because, well, for the scale, that's exactly what it is. But again, as I said, I'm using this as an experiment because, well, I sort of didn't quite pay for it. So I'll pull that out, let that drop in, and take that completely out. And now you got a better view of the slot that's in the side rods. I'm going to have to do the side rods differently because I do not have that. I don't have this extra gear, and it's a lot easier to make. It's a lot easier to make a flat piece of side rod instead of making a gear. Put that down there. Take that out there. That comes off. All right, now I need to Phillips. Where's the Phillips? Where did I put a Phillips? I don't have Phillips in front of me. So yes, we gotta go this way. Which basically, since it's all plastic, it should be easy to do. And that's what we'll probably be able to do just for tonight is basically tear down the experiment. And that's the cover. As you see, this both axles have gears on them. And transmission pops out. And as you can see, even the big gear has a crack in it. the side gear that was over here that had 2 cracks in it. That's why the thing fell completely apart. But all right, well, it looks like the experiment is in pieces. Probably figure out exactly how big the axles are, and figure out exactly how long they need to be. Let's see. How big are... all right, it's close to 1/8. I got plenty of 1/8 stock and all, 1/8 metal dowels and all that, so that works out. So, alrighty then, let's switch over cameras. Well, hello there, Randall. Thank you for coming in. All right, let's switch over back to the other camera. There we go. Well, this is it for this particular live stream. I know this is towards the end, but for those who missed the beginning, I have found employment again, so I am back working. However, it's at Jalopy, and I know at least next week I'm going to be working during this time. So I would say if you haven't already, and you like this content, subscribe and also hit the bell notification, because I do not know what my schedule is. So my plan is to do at least an hour a week, like I have been. It's just that now it's not going to be at 6:45 to 7:45. So who knows what the future brings? But we'll just keep trucking along. All right, so I'll do my best when I decide to. Sorry, my nose is itchy. When I find something, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to be able to do a live stream at this time. I'll do my best to, throw that into the community tab to let everybody know. And so yeah, I believe. So we're gonna just keep on swinging at this. So I don't know. Hopefully, it was a very busy night tonight on the chat, so I thank you very much on that. But it's, we don't know. I do not know when things are going to be. I want to say things are not. I don't know how consistent I'll be. Being able to do this every Sunday night was basically hey, I need to do this then, and etc. But now having to possibly work Sundays, and like any fast food place, you don't know exactly when things are going to be happening. So I'll do my best to let everybody know when I'm going to be on, so people can prepare for it. Unfortunately, I might wind up going against a favorite live stream that you like doing. So it is what it is. But I would have to say, I believe that the world needs more love. So find your passion, add some silliness to it, and spread it around. Bye, everyone.